I'm from Madagascar. I'm working for Madagascar Vocats, which means Madagascar Conserved. So to start with, I would ask you to think about your favorite song. Okay? And imagine that you are somewhere in the forest in Madagascar, you are sleeping in a tent, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? And somehow the song started playing from very far away. What would you do? Dance. Yeah. So that's, for me, I would wake up and actually go and find it. For me, that was my first encounter with Madagascar wildlife. And that the song was not really a band on the radio, it's the Indri. That's the biggest, largest lemur of Madagascar. And I was 13 years old, and that was the first time I've been in a national park. So we woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The guide was already waiting for us and say, let's go and find them. We've been walking in the forest for about 2 hours, and then, bam, the Indris were there. There were a group of 5 of them. And they started singing, and that was so amazing. And that's an unforgettable experience for me. But then, a few minutes after, the guide said, actually, these lemurs, the Indris, and all the lemurs of Madagascar are soon going to be extinct because people are hunting them. Their habitats are being destroyed, converted into rice fields, and also people are cutting down the trees, which the Indris are only feeding on leaves and fruits and flowers, and people are cutting down these trees for making houses. So maybe the next generations or a few generations will not be able to see these lemurs anymore. And that was my motivation to start working in conservation. I'm very lucky to be part of Vocati, who is working to save the endemic species of Madagascar, especially the critically endangered ones. So for this, how we do that, I'm going to take the example of the golden mantella frog, which is one of our target species. So in 2004, the golden mantella frog has been listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List, but there was also a mention that it is possibly extinct in the wild. So the second thing we do in the team is we find where the species are actually found. So for the case of the golden mantella frog, we've been finding 2 different areas where it occurs. It was not actually extinct in the wild, we still found them in 2 different areas. But unfortunately, in this first area in the northern part, the government has already allowed nickel and cobalt mining, and permit has been issued, the project is ongoing on. So there's almost no hope for the frogs in that area. So we have been focusing our efforts here in the south. So what we do next is we're trying to understand better the species, but also how they are interacting with the people. We knew that the golden mantella frogs are using 2 different habitats. So the ponds where they are breeding during the rainy season, and then after the very short rainy season, they would go up in the forest and hide there during the period when it's dry. On the ground, the ponds where they are breeding are actually really nice areas for planting rice, so people are starting converting these ponds into to rice fields. And also one of the most used agricultural practice in that area is also the slash and burn agriculture. So we are also cutting down the trees, and that for the rice we are actually eating. The other fact on the ground was some people believe that where there's a golden mantella, there is gold. So many people are now starting to try to find, since 2011, people have been digging the ponds and trying to find gold, and some people have actually found some. So what we do after understanding the whole thing is try to mitigate the key threats we found on the ground. So for example, for the rice issues, we have been training community members into improved and much protective rice farming techniques. And for the gold mining issues, we have been setting up patrols led by local communities so that they can detect where the gold mining are happening, if it does happen, and then they can report more rapidly to the government, and then hopefully the government would respond timely to stop all the threats. And one of the key actions we also do on the ground is acquire legal protection status for the areas where the species occurs. For the case of the golden mantella, the southern part I have shown in the previous map has been created as a reserve in 2005. This structure, the protection structure, allows the communities to feel more ownership and also allows a better enforcement of the laws. And then we also do direct actions on the ground to enhance the viability of the species. In this picture, you see actually a team of researchers trying to find where they are on the ground. We have been doing restoration of the ponds that have been destroyed by gold mining, but also trying to find more ponds where they could breed and use. And we are training communities to improve the management capacity, because we also strongly believe that conservation has to be led by local communities. So this is the 7 steps we have been using in so far. And as a result, this year and since last year, the golden mantella is being downlisted from critically endangered to endangered. And we think that the efforts we have been investing in the golden mantella has actually benefited other species within the Manga Bay Reserve. So now we are looking to expand that approach for more species in Madagascar, because there are more 1,000 species that are endangered or critically endangered. Thank you.